What's happening, financial coaches? Pete here. Hey, I want to talk to you about the financial coaching business and maybe do a little myth busting today. And I want to talk about what I call always chasing the sale. Or sometimes when I talk to my father about it, I always said, chasing the first year commission, because I think this is a temptation in the business world is to be enamored, or the small business world more specifically, about how much money you can make right up front. And usually, the more money you can make up front means the less money you'll make over time, if that makes sense, right? So, if I'm selling yachts, I have a friend that used to sell yachts at uh, um, a boat broker, and he didn't sell a lot of yachts, but you don't have to sell a lot of yachts. You can make 20, 30, 40, $50,000 commissions if you sell a yacht. And so you don't need to sell them that often. And, he had been in the business for a long time, so he doesn't sell one every week. He doesn't sell one every month. He might sell a few a year, but that ends up being a pretty good business. Now, he's been in the business a long time. But the issue is the sale is what brings in the money. So he has to constantly be chasing that sale, right? Does that make sense? But you get a good commission for it, and it can, you can support your lifestyle, no problem. Financial coaching is very much like that business. And you might be thinking, well, there's a lot of jobs in the financial services world that are similar to that. And I don't think they are. And I think a lot of the traditional financial services jobs are better in many business building ways. And I'm going to break them down here because I've done them all. So insurance sales, what you probably don't know about life insurance, if you haven't done it, is that, usually they have something called a trail. And sometimes some policies will have lifetime trails. This is similar in the property and casualty world too. The auto insurance premium that you pay, your insurance agent is usually going to get a commission on that every year, trail on that. So let's say I sold you a life insurance policy and it was $100 a month. $1,200 a year in premiums. Okay. So let's say it's a term life insurance policy. A lot of companies then will pay you what's called a trail as opposed to an upfront commission. So it is a commission. So when you sell that, often you'll get half of the first year premium. Okay. And so in this case, instead of $1,200 is what they're going to pay, you'll get $600 right up front, right? Obviously, the insurance company is really not going to collect any money in this case until the later half of the year. But what happens is that as that life insurance policy renews, because people usually don't buy life insurance for 1 year, you will continue to get a commission on that every year on the anniversary date. Now, it usually will not be as good as that first year commission, but it's an ongoing trail that you get for a couple reasons. One, because it's income that the insurance company is getting on that one-time sale. On top of that, the insurance company wants to incent you as the salesperson to help keep this person active, to keep this life insurance policy in force is what we call it, right? And so, it might depend, but it might be half of that first year commission. So you got $600 the first year, but you might get $300 a year for as long as this life insurance policy stays in place. So on a 20-year term life insurance policy, hopefully they will keep it for 20 years. Now think about that. Think about that you made that sale in 1 year, let's say in 2020, and now in 2040, you're still collecting money on it. And maybe, like many people, they're not calling you all the time about the insurance policy. They've got it set up. They don't have any questions about it. Year after year, you continue to get these checks. Now, multiply that by 10 clients, 100 clients, 1,000 clients, right? This becomes very lucrative. And the beauty of this is that you're adding drops into your business bucket that are producing you income on an ongoing basis. The same can be said for like wealth advisors or money managers. As you buy into your 401k, that's producing some fees for your 401k provider. So on a lot of these, there's an ongoing component to the business. The problem with financial coaching is that, one, you are getting paid by trading your time for money, right? So I'm going to meet with you. I'm going to bill you a certain amount of money. Many financial coaches here have a package. Let's call it a 3-month package. You pay me a fee up front. It's called $1,000. I'll meet with you twice a month for 3 months, whatever it is. I don't really care what the number is, but then we'll meet, we'll go through this process. Some of those clients will continue on. Usually the clients will become more sporadic, more spaced out, less frequent, maybe less time in those sessions. It's going to be less and less money. And so if you want to continue to make the same amount of money, you're going to have to continue feeding the funnel, your sales funnel, so that you're bringing in new clients. Because as you're working with clients, you're going to have a natural attrition rate, and you're going to have a sales funnel that levels that off. So on a day-to-day basis, I wouldn't be surprised if you're doing half of your time, or half of your time is spent working with clients and financial coaching, and the other half of the time is working on sales and marketing. right? And that might be in perpetuity because you're always going to have to be feeding the funnel. Now, the data says that in financial coaching, most financial coaching clients will attrite after about 3 sessions. So, give or take, I would say in my experience, that's about right too. Now, I've had people that have gone on for 30 sessions or 40, 50, 60 sessions. That's possible, but you have to be in the business a long time, and that is the exception, not the rule. Okay, so and to offset that, the reason we get to an average of 3 is you have many people that will go for 1 or 2 sessions. A lot of people will get what they need out of 1 session. Sometimes very complex clients. I've had clients that have been really working on retirement distribution problems, right? And kind of just wrapping their head around, what if I sell this asset and turn it into cash, or what if I keep the asset and liquidate it at a future time because of the appreciation, and then what will that do to my calculations? And so sometimes you think, wow, these people are going to really need ongoing help, but they don't. They get the information, they know how the math works, they just kind of wanted to validate it with someone, they wanted to bounce it off someone or something like that, they wanted to kind of kick around some different ideas. Maybe you threw out some ideas on some other things that they should look at, some annuities or income streams or whatever it might be, and they're good to go, right? And so these are clients that I think sometimes are right in my demographic, my wheelhouse, and they probably often become longer term clients, but in some cases they're just one off. So that's totally possible too. So remember, you're trading your time for money, which is not necessarily a scalable business. This is a buzzword. I don't want to overly focus on having a scalable business, but 2, you're probably always going to have to be working on sales generation, marketing to sales, and filling that lead funnel so that you can continue to bring in new people. So the question is, do you always want to chase that sale? Because I see a lot of people that come into this business that really want to do this all virtually. They want to run Facebook ads or Google ads. They want to post tweets on Twitter and Instagram pictures and long sermons about finances on their Facebook page. They don't want to reach out to people. They don't want to talk to people. They don't want to solicit them. They don't want to sell them on anything. They want them to all inbound. They're not getting the traffic that they want. And if you are already resistant to those types of things now, how are you going to do that in perpetuity? So this is a business where I think you're always chasing that first year commission. One of the things that I really did not want to do when I first started. I get how that works. It's one of the reasons I've been scaling back my own coaching here in a fairly big way. But you got to think about that. Is that right for you? And some people love it, and some people will be able to balance working in the business or on the business. But if that's not for you, then I would strongly recommend that you think about that before you get into it, because it's one of those things where this is not something that necessarily you just kind of hustle and grind up front and then it's all coasting, right? This is something that you're going to have to pour yourself into repeatedly. So that's it for today. I'll talk to you later.